I'm Sarah Kuhn. I write a blog called INFJ Woman, and I host a podcast called The Quiet Ones. I'm on a mission to help you become the best version of yourself, to be wholly and unapologetically you, to be you. Every week on my Instagram stories, I take questions about INFJs or self-acceptance, self-love, anything that you want to ask me a question about. In this video, you're going to see a collection of random questions that are the best ones from this week. If you have a question that you'd like to ask me, you can submit it through the comments below this video, and I will answer it in a future video and link the video back to you so that you can see it. I don't know that we all have the same sense of humor. I know that for me, I'm very sarcastic and I like dark and twisty type of humor, and I also like jokes that are like intelligent that a lot of people miss. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm working really hard on it. I'm drinking green smoothies and matcha lattes, which are really, really good actually. So hopefully it helps. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I had to Google what starseed meant. I don't know. I guess that just depends on what you believe. I don't tend to believe in that kind of thing, but I guess it's really up to you. It is common. A lot of INFJs have anxiety, and I know I have depression, and I've spoken to a lot of other INFJs who've had depression as well. You're definitely not alone if you have those things, but there is hope. You can get out of it. The best way to develop your intuition is to use it, to spend some alone time, some quiet time listening to it, and really just trying to figure out what it's telling you, and then to follow it too. That way you'll hear it more often. You have to look at the belief behind the emotion. Why do you feel that way? And ask yourself, is it really true? And how does it affect your life when you subscribe to that belief? What would your life look like if you didn't have that belief? The only way to learn how to do it is to practice. You just have to start with something small and keep the boundary, maintain it, and commit to yourself that you're going to do it before you can move on to something bigger. It is very common for INFJs to have anxiety disorders. I have one myself. I've noticed that it makes a huge difference what I eat. I know that sounds weird when you're talking about anxiety, but that's why I'm focusing so much on my diet now. Just find something that you can do that helps. I'm not really sure about your question, feel the unfelt. I don't know. We do feel a lot of things. We feel not only our own emotions, but other people's emotions as well. So possibly. Well, you can come and join my Facebook group. There's about 300 of us over there. I also have a community too that you can sign up for. You can sign up for the waiting list at infjcommunity.com. How to not be passive aggressive with somebody who's pissed you off? You have to start with empathy and understanding, and think about how you being passive aggressive is going to affect your relationship, and then think about how you would treat them if you weren't there. If you want to learn more about the INFJ personality type, make sure that you sign up for my weekly email newsletter. There's a link for it in the video description. Something positive about people who are sensing, they like to stay in the moment. They take things at face value. So they're usually pretty easy to talk to, and they're not constantly making connections. Several of my friends are in an INFJ-INTJ relationship, and they say it works out really well. The only problem that you're going to run into is when you go to make a decision and one person wants to follow their gut and the other person wants to follow logic and reason. Focus forward. That's the best thing that you can do. You can't change the past. You can't get back that lost time, and the only thing that you're doing by thinking about it now is just wasting more time. So just focus forward. What's the next thing that you want to do? I don't think that's an INFJ thing. I actually like meeting other INFJs, and I like hearing them say me too, and I feel the same way. It makes me feel understood and validated. So I would say no. ENFPs are supposedly the ideal match for INFJs. It really just depends on what you want. I wrote a blog post about different types and how they fit together, so you can swipe up to read it. No, I don't think it's fair to prejudge people. I don't think that you can tell everything about a person just by their personality type. Even the same personality types are going to be different. So you never know. I would not prejudge people at all. The best way to stop overthinking is to just take action, to do something, whatever it is that you're thinking about, take some action to be able to accomplish what it is that you want to do. And even if it's just a little bit of research, if it's writing it down, basically you just have to do it. Set some small goals and go with it. That's the only way that you're going to get through it. There isn't any kind of trick or anything. You just have to push yourself through it. So the best career for you is going to be by finding your purpose. And your purpose comes from your pain. So you have to think about the biggest emotional pain that you've had in your life and how did you solve it? You can help other people solve that pain as well. Yes, I'm definitely highly sensitive. Little noises drive me insane. I notice a lot of things that most people don't notice, and sometimes things have to be just right. Otherwise, I wrote a blog post about being assertive and turbulent and what the difference between them means. I haven't read that much about people going back and forth between them, but I'm sure that it is possible. Yes, I think INFJs can be good at sales. It really just depends on what you want to do and how committed you are to doing it. You might have to take a lot more breaks than your extroverted counterparts, but you can still be good at it if you put your mind to it. It could be. There are a lot of ISFJs. It probably depends on where you find them too, like where you hang out. I know certain types tend to congregate in different places, so that could be a reason. I'm not certain why. Maybe it's just a coincidence that they've all been ENFJs. I think that a relationship with any personality type can work as long as you're both mature and committed to the relationship. So maybe it's just a coincidence. I think you need to look at both of them as objectively as possible. And what I try to do is ask myself, if my friend was going through this situation and was asking me for advice, what advice would I give them? What if it wasn't me? And look at it that way. You'll find the most suitable job when you find your purpose, and your purpose comes from your pain. So you have to look at the biggest emotional pain that you've had in your life. And in that, you'll find a way that you can help other people. That's what you should do. I interviewed an amazing psychologist on my podcast who talks about narcissistic relationships. So you should start by listening to that. He has a lot of great advice, and understanding why is a huge part of the puzzle. There's conflicting evidence about whether you can actually change your personality type. I know that there are certain things that do change when you're feeling different emotions, but I don't really believe that your core personality type ever changes. We're definitely better at written communication. I'm always a lot better after a conversation where I can think of like 12 different things I should have said. And sometimes I replay those conversations in my head over and over again. But yes, it has been challenging. I have spent all of the quarantine by myself in a studio apartment, and there are good days and bad days, but thankfully I have the ocean right outside of my window, so that helped. Thank you. I'm working on it. I felt a lot better yesterday, and hopefully today too. So far so good, but it usually gets worse at night, so we'll see. But thank you, I appreciate it. I also just wanted to take a quick moment and remind you that I'm doing a challenge next week about how to start your own blog. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure that you sign up for it. You can swipe up for all of the information. Basically, I'm going live on Facebook every single day next week at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and we're going to talk about everything that you need to start a blog, from how to put yourself out there, how to find your audience, how to get over imposter syndrome, and how to make money, which is really the most important thing, right? So yes, you can swipe up to register, send it to all of your friends. You don't have to be an INFJ, though. It's probably best for like introverts. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun, so make sure you join us. At some point, you have to decide if you're going to live the life that your parents want you to live, or if you are going to live the life that you want to live. And it can be a really hard decision, and it took me a long time to get there, but you have to decide. It's up to you. I married an ENTJ. Help him understand me. I challenge you to turn that around. I challenge you, instead of focusing on him not understanding you, for you to start understanding him better. The only way I know of is to practice. Just practice being uncomfortable. Because, I mean, that's the only way to just work through it, is to let yourself be uncomfortable. Well, that really depends. Is it something that you can work through? Is it something that you can talk through and come to an agreement about? A lot of times you can just agree to disagree, but if it's something big like religion or kids or something, yes, that's very common. That's one of the biggest things that INFJs can do. We not only read people's emotions, but we feel them as well, as if they are our own emotions. Yes, it's very common. Most INFJs that I talk to say the same thing. I've felt the same way. I never fit in with people who are my age group. Most of my friends in the past have been quite a bit older than me, and it's kind of weird that I have friends who are my age. This one is really difficult. A lot of people say they want honesty, and they really don't want honesty at all. And I guess, I mean, for me, it would kind of depend on what the answer actually is. And is it helpful or is it hurtful? I would say that really depends on what's going on with them. One of the best ways might be to let them come back to you. Sometimes when I've taken breaks, it's been like 6 months. Not always. Sometimes it's only a couple of weeks. But you really just never know. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you check out these other amazing videos that I have that are all about INFJs, INFJ traits, the INFJ personality, everything that you want to know about INFJs. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button as well so that you never miss a new video. Thanks for watching again, and we will see you again soon.